So today we're going to take a closer look at credible sources, hence the lovely microphone here in the top corner. So on Tuesday after your all's ACT, you all completed a pre-assessment for me that kind of gave me some background on how much you know about credible sources and where to find them. And you all actually had a great baseline knowledge for this. So we're just going to go through some reminders and then I'm going to show you all how to find some sources. So what exactly is a credible source? This is a source that has either been written by an expert in the field and or it's been reviewed by their peers. So basically it's a source that you know you can trust to use in your paper because it's coming from experts. Whether it's been written by an expert or whether it's been reviewed by experts, you know that somebody who knows what they're doing has written it and has read it. So the main thing that you all needed more help with was where you can find a credible source. So in this age of social media and constant articles being shared on Facebook and Twitter and all these different areas, it's kind of hard to know what you can and what you cannot trust. So what you all are going to be looking for is what we would call scholarly sources. So these are sources, again, that are written by an expert or that have been reviewed by an expert. So some places that you can find these types of sources is Google Scholar, which is what you all will be using a lot of actually for this research paper. There's also something called EBSCOhost that you will use a lot in college. This has thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of articles on it. This is what I used a lot in college. You can also use sources such as newspapers, any website that ends in edu, .gov, or .org. These are all sites that either the government sponsors or is a nonprofit, and so it's not somebody who has necessarily bought a .com, but it is a source that you can trust. And lastly, scholarly journals. This is something, again, that you will see a lot of on Google Scholar and EBSCOhost, but this is something where people have to be published, and in order to be published in one of these, it has to have been reviewed by your peers, and it goes through so many different stages to be published. So some examples of unreliable sources that you all cannot use. I know you're going to fight me on it, but you cannot use Wikipedia. This is something that can be updated by any random user on the internet, and maybe they do change it very quickly, but in those couple of minutes that you access it, it could have incorrect information. You don't want to do just a general Google search and take any .com that comes up, because a .com is something that somebody has paid for, so you don't know if that person is trustworthy to go onto their site and read their information because you don't know their background. You don't know that they're an expert or that anything they have written on their page has any type of merit. Kind of the only exception to this is, say, if you were getting game stats and you went to ESPN, because they are going to get those stats from an actual college website like Louisville's or UK's, or Duke, for Jonathan and Michaela. Again, like a newspaper website, because you know that that's the same thing that they print that is on their actual website. So those are pretty much the only .coms that you can trust. So for our sake, we do not want any .coms. Social media is another place that's an unreliable source. You don't know if somebody who's tweeting something is an expert, or a lot of things get posted on Facebook, and you wouldn't want to use something like an Odyssey article to help prove your research paper because that's written by college students who are not experts at what they're doing. Lastly, something that has been very popular lately is fake news websites. So these are generally easy to spot by just looking at the website itself. If you can tell that it's not put together very well, or it's not something like the New Yorker or something that is a trusted source for information, chances are it is fake news. So these are all examples of what you cannot use in your all's paper. So what I want you to do now is take a second and pull out a half sheet of paper. On this half sheet, you all are going to be answering some pause or hot questions throughout this video. So your first two questions that I want you to pause this video and answer really quick is, what does a reliable internet source end in? And why is Wikipedia not a reliable source? So go ahead and pause this video really quick, answer those questions, and then press play again. So, why are credible sources important? Why does it matter that you use something that is trusted versus something that's not trusted? First of all, for accuracy. So, using credible sources ensures that you have accurate information to support your argument, and your argument is only as strong as the support that you have for it. So, if you are not using, your ethos, logos, and pathos to help your argument, then that sets it back already. But also, you want to use credible sources, one that your reader knows they can look at and trust and say, okay, this is accurate information. I know that this person is not trying to sell me something that isn't accurate. Again, it helps with your ethos as a writer. So using credible sources adds to your credibility as an author. It really proves to your audience that you have taken the time to do quality research and become informed on your topic. Because in your research paper, you're going to be like a mini expert on what you're talking about. So in order to establish that type of trust with your reader, using credible sources and using accurate sources establishes your ethos and makes them feel like they can trust you. So your next hot or pause question is, how does using reliable sources help you as an author? So go ahead and pause this video really quick, answer this question, and then press play.